Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Ebony, and welcome back to my channel called Socially Awkward, where if you stick around long enough, you'll see why it's called Socially Awkward. So I made Simplicity 9451, which is described as Mrs. Tops. There are 4 views, and this is sized for your stretch knits only, such as interlock jersey, ITY, bamboo. And then as for notions, you're going to need a 3/8 inch button. And then depending on the view, you may need some single fold bias tape to finish off the armholes, or you may need some 1/4 inch elastic, and that is for view D. You'll also need some lightweight fusible interfacing to face the neck facing pieces as well. And as for sizing, this pattern ranges from size 6 to size 22. It comes in 2 different pattern envelopes as well. So as you can see, I made view B, which is the sleeveless version, and I made mine, I'm looking at my notes here. I made mine in a size 18, and that was based off of the bust measurement. So when I made this pattern before, this will be my second time making this top. When I made it before, it fit really tight. I made it in the size 14, and I knew that I needed to go ahead and size up, so I got a different pattern envelope so that I could make a larger size. And so based off of the bust measurement, I decided to go with the size 18. My bust is like a 38.5, and the bust measurement for the size 18 is 40.5. And so I wanted to have like a little bit of room in the bust. I didn't want it to cling too much. And then also I made mine in an ITY knit as well. And this fabric is super drapey and like slippery. And it has a lot of stretch, and I knew that it was going to cling to my body. And so I wanted to kind of size up a little bit so that it wasn't highlighting any problem areas for me as well. So really happy with the size 18. If you are basing, how my top is fitting, I would definitely recommend sizing it for your bust. And then depending on the type of knit that you use, go from there. I knew that this was a really stretchy fabric, so I wanted to kind of size up. But if I was making this in like a more stable knit, so maybe like a double knit or something like that, I'd probably size it, maybe make the size 16. And that way, it's not super baggy. It's still flattering. It still kind of gives the same ruching effect as what's on the pattern as well. While the pattern envelope doesn't technically have a rating on it, I would still rate it as easy. I definitely think that this pattern is advanced beginner friendly or confident beginner friendly. I wouldn't say maybe like a brand new person starting out should try this pattern, just because the fabric is, well, at least my fabric was super stretchy and slippery. So if you do decide to make this pattern and you're a beginner, pay attention to the type of knit that you use. This one was a little difficult or kind of, tricky to work with. I work with knits a lot, so I'm kind of used to it. But that is something to keep in mind. There's also a button in the back. There is a keyhole opening in the back of the top. And so you do have to install a button, which, you can do that by hand or by machine. So it's just, I think that this is mainly for like a confident beginner that's looking to kind of do a more elevated project, but still has those simple elements as well. I think the gathering of the shoulder and the side seam is a perfect technique to learn, if you're wanting to become an advanced beginner, or if you are an advanced beginner. I think if you are more on the advanced side, as far as like, being in your sewing journey, or even like the intermediate side of your sewing journey, then this is still a great pattern for you to try. It took me a while to make this pattern, but that's just because I like to take my time and not rush through the process. But this is a top that you can get done in like maybe 4 hours or less, depending on like, how quickly you sew and how much time you want to dedicate to the project. It's only 6 pattern pieces, which is nice, or at least this view B, which is the sleeveless version, is only 6 pieces. So it comes together rather quickly. Majority of your time is spent gathering the shoulder gathering the, various parts of the bodice and then attaching them together. So it's a relatively easy project. And then I didn't mention in the beginning, but you can use your serger with this project as well. It says it on the pattern envelope. I didn't use my serger other than cleaning up the seams on the inside, but it says that you can use your serger only with this pattern. So that sounds like a win to me. Another good thing about this pattern is the instructions. They're very easy to follow. They're very minimal, especially if you're making this view. I don't know if there is a sew along for this pattern. I didn't really look for one because the instructions were very clear to follow. So that's a huge positive. And then one thing that I do want to point out as far as like what was difficult, at least for me, I noticed in the first top that I had a little bit of gaping in the opening in the back, and I thought that that was just due to me making the wrong size. So when I made this top and I still had the gaping in the back, what I ended up doing is just kind of gauging where it would lay at least the most flat. It's still not laying super flat, but I put it on my body and then I pinned where I think the button should go or where I thought the button should go to kind of make it lay flat. And so I don't know if that counts as like a modification. And then I don't know if that's just maybe I still made the wrong size, or I don't know, maybe there's something with like the fitting as far as like the keyhole opening goes. It didn't really bother me in the first top, but since it's happening in this top, I don't know if I will wear this without a cardigan. I made this top for work, so I don't know if I feel comfortable wearing it without the cardigan because of the keyhole. Um, I might still also play around with the opening and like the placement of the button. It's a lot better than how it fit at first. It was like literally, it was like this shape, but now it's kind of like a keyhole. So I don't know. I think I need to just maybe play around with it, but I'm okay with how it is right now, at least for the time being. And I think that this top will look really cute with the cardigan as well. I did make a few modifications to this pattern. So I did add 3 inches to the length. I have a long torso. So when I made the top the first time, it was a little short on me. And so this go around, I added 3 inches and I was able to do the 1 1/4 inch hem at the bottom, like the pattern um, was made for. And so I was really happy with that. So if you're tall like me, definitely add some length to your bodice. And then another thing is I did not use any bias tape for my armholes. I just did a narrow hem on those as well. So I don't know if you guys can see, but I just serged the edge and then just turned it under and just did a top stitch all the way around. And that, I'm okay with how that came out as well. So my final thoughts on the pattern, I love it. Will I make it again? Probably not, but that's just because I already made it twice. And so I don't see myself making this again, but it is still a really good pattern. I'm happy that I have it in my stash to refer back to. But let me know what you guys think. I know this pattern has made its way around social media as far as like other sewists in the community making it. So if you made one, let me know how yours turned out. And if you also had that issue with the keyhole opening in the back, let me know how that turned out for you. But again, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Make sure that you like this video. And if you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in my next upload.